Hey everyone, it's Cory McCarthy and welcome to another live Q&A event. First one back after having been away for a little bit. I'm just going to wait for people to start coming on. Anyway, as you guys know, I've been away with family. I did a video, a really brief video about it yesterday. So that's why I've not been creating videos for the last, well, it's been about 2 weeks. It will be 2 weeks as of this next video coming on Tuesday or to Thursday of next week. So this is the first Q&A back. And I want to thank you all for tuning in. And just as a reminder, of course, there's a super chat option down below in the description. It mentions it down there. You can use super chat to have your comment highlighted. And it also kicks a donation my way to my channel for my work, etc. And furthermore, I also have, as some of you may or may not be aware, I have a Black Friday sale going on, 40% off of my ebooks. I also have that link down below with the coupon code and the links to all of the ebooks. That includes the bundle, which already has a discount offer on it. And again, I want to thank everyone who has purchased those ebooks because I have used those funds to help with the family matter that I'm going through. Anyhow, let's get over to the comments and see what we got coming in. So let's get started. Doom says first. Hello, Doom. Lance G says, Cory, did you ever buy that hard gum? If so, did you see any increase in strong jawline? I did buy mastic gum, Greek mastic gum. I got actually imported from Greece. I got it on Amazon. The link, I think I put the link in my video for that. And I have to say it was definitely harder on my jawline than regular chewing gum, but I've since gone back to regular chewing gum just because I prefer, it's also easier to get out to wait for it to come in the mail. Spry, I think it's called Spry, maybe it's called Spree, S-P-R-Y. It's a gum with xylitol in it, which is also good for your teeth. But then again, I think Greek mastic gum apparently is also good for dental health. So Kamara says, hello. Hey, Kamara. That's Nat. That's my friend Nat, actually. I'd love to train Nat. Are you going to be in he's from Italy. Are you going to be in New York or in America somewhere near New York? Anywho, let's get some more. Once more questions start coming in, I'll be able to start answering them. It must be a bit of a slow start today. Then again, here in America, and a lot of my viewers are in America, it was Thanksgiving, although I didn't really celebrate Thanksgiving in any capacity. I was dealing with family matters, so it wasn't really on my, it was on my radar in the sense that I knew what day it was, but it wasn't on my radar in the sense of any kind of celebratory activities. And yes, for those who are watching who are not vegan, you can have vegan Thanksgiving. So you just don't eat turkey or any animal products. You just use tofurkey, or even Gardein makes some really great turkey alternatives. So yes, you can celebrate Thanksgiving if you wish to celebrate a traditional holiday without having to kill animals to do so. Nat says he hopes soon. I didn't know you were planning a trip to America. Well, like I said, I'd love to train with you. And actually, a shout out to a guy named Jeremy, in case Jeremy is watching, to a guy named Jeremy. A nice shout out to Jeremy. About a week ago, I was at a Whole Foods store, and Jeremy, one of my viewers, whose name is Jeremy, approached me, and he recognized me from YouTube, and just had a quick chat with me, took a photograph with me, etc. Got people looking. People were like, "Well, who are you?" I'm like, "Well, I'm just like some dude on YouTube." You know, I'm not really get to my head. It does happen time and again. People do recognize me from YouTube, and if you do, feel free to pop right up, say hello. I'm not an asshole. I may look like an asshole on the channel, but I'm really not an asshole in real life. Love to shake your hand, love to chat with you. And hey, I've made friends through my YouTube channel. Actually, there's a couple that I'm going to be hanging out with later on today, who I met the guy on through my YouTube channel. He also watches the Golden One, and we've become really good friends, and we hang out all the time. So if you see me in public, which does happen from time to time, don't be a stranger. Say hello. I'm not going to bite your head off. I'm vegan after all. So now the questions coming in. Jim Sanchez says, good to see you, Cory. Do you think Strong Lifts 5x5 is good for beginners? Yes, it's fine for beginners. Any program that's going to help you build a strong base foundation is going to be good to get you started in the right direction. Just ignore a lot of the bodybuilding, in general, ignore the bodybuilding programs like you see the Mr. Olympias and the fitness competitors run, because the muscle splits, the once per week muscle splits, you know, like back and biceps, chest and triceps, legs and delts and arms, those kinds of splits have been shown to be inferior to full body or higher frequency splits. So it could be full body, could be upper, lower, or push, pull sort of thing. But those are superior to a body part bro split. And for a beginner, you will definitely make faster progress if you do more of a full body approach. And on that note, I have a beginner's program. I offer the Rocket Old School program, which beginners can use. It also has an intensity workout in there as well that you can throw in if you're a little more advanced and you want to keep running it and you want something to break through a plateau. There is an extreme intensity workout in there as well. But I have that program. It was built with beginners in mind. More advanced lifters who want something similar, I have the Upgraded Man that you can check out as well. Again, they're both based on real high frequency and building strength, not just muscle, really focusing on a strength component of your core lifts. And again, like I said, I'm running a Black Friday sale right now, 40% off all my ebooks. Black Friday 40 is the code at checkout. It's down below. Yam Industry says, do you have any advice for someone with mild gyno? It's a hormonal problem, or is it a hormonal problem, or is it caused by having more fat in the chest area? I still have it when I'm noticeably lean. Now listen, I'm not a hormone expert. I've never had gyno, but I do know that folks can get it without taking steroids. And yes, it is a hormone issue from what I understand. There might be other factors too, but it's caused by an imbalance of testosterone and estrogen. From my understanding, again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert. My advice would be to go see an endocrinologist, a doctor, an expert. You may or may not need surgery to remove the excess fat tissue from your chest area, but that will be up to a doctor to advise you on. I do not feel comfortable delving into that. He may have to take a chemical drug of some kind. I think it's called tamoxifen. I'm not sure. Which helps balance out your hormone levels. I know a lot of drug users use it post-cycle. Again, I'm not an expert. I might be even naming the wrong drug here. Talk to a doctor. I don't promote any steroids and for that matter, I don't promote PCT because I don't promote steroids. I tell you, everyone here, lift naturally, enjoy your life, be strong, be fit, be muscular, and be able-bodied, but don't put yourself in jeopardy to do so. You can do it. You won't be as big as a Phil Heath or something, or one of these champion power lifters, but you'll still look great, you'll feel great, and you'll have longevity. Doomboy says, I moved to a small town and I have difficulty being plant-based. Do I have any tips? You should have no problems finding things like beans, or finding things like rice or potatoes or sweet potatoes, fruit and vegetables, no matter what town you're in. I don't care how small the town is. I've lived in small towns and those things are readily available. I mean, I have a friend who lives in Argentina and he can find tofu. So you should even be able to find tofu at your local supermarket. You know, and people who want to cry and say, hey, you know, tofu, it's GMO crap. Organic tofu is pretty readily available. And if you have a Whole Foods anywhere nearby, or a Trader Joe's or a Sprouts, you should be able to find organic tofu very easily. And very cheap as well. Like, you know, I'm talking about, like, even in a Whole Foods market, like $2 for 45 grams of protein. Not bad at all. B. Johnson says, why do you think this ridiculous carnivore diet is getting so much attention? Things move in phases. Ridiculous shit moves in phases. All it takes is for some celebrity or someone with some kind of clout or somebody to make great results on something, regardless of it being anecdote, and suddenly everybody wants to jump on board. I mean, Atkins was popular. If back in the early 2000s, Atkins had a major burst in popularity. And Atkins keeps, not necessarily just Atkins, but keto in general, keeps cycling back in popularity. And there are people who swear that it is the ultimate diet, when in fact, it's just another tool in the toolbox, you know? And non-vegan keto can actually be harmful to you. It actually can cause, and this has been shown in research, can cause cardiovascular issues due to the high animal fat content and the high cholesterol content. Whereas a vegan keto diet's been shown to lower your lipid profile, which is a good thing, and also help you lose weight. But some people just can't stand keto, whether it's animal-based or plant-based, so it doesn't matter for them. It's just another tool in the tool shed if you can take it. That's why I think that it's a lot of stupid shit catches fire, and it makes you sometimes think, why the fuck is that catching fire? You know, that's really stupid. This snake diet is kind of catching fire too. But didn't this bastard recently claim, the Cole guy, the snake diet, recently claimed that he can help cure AIDS or something? I thought I saw some tweet or a video post somebody was sharing about that, where he talks about how his snake diet might be able to help cure AIDS. Oh, that's a ridiculous fucking claim. I can't believe that the government or some government hasn't given him a cease and desist yet, because that could be harmful. But anyway, fads will always exist. Fad diets will always exist. Fad everything will always exist, whether it be movies, games, music, whatever outlet, they will always exist. You know, so just be aware of those kinds of things, and stick to your guns and be skeptical about shit like that. So, sun kills moon. So what are the changes you were talking about in the last video? I will be doing a video dedicated to that. So it's a little bit complex, and it requires some backstory and a bit of explanation about what's going on with my family. But it's something that I want to say in advance that I feel like while it's a personal matter, and I don't typically talk about personal matters on my channel, I feel it's something that maybe other people might learn from, or might find reasonable, or might hate me for and decide to unsubscribe. So, it is going to be a risky video, but I don't really do this channel for popularity. As you notice, my subscriber count it kind of fluctuates down and up. I don't really do this channel for popularity. I do it because it's a labor of love. And what I'm telling you guys, I genuinely think and I genuinely believe in. And that's all, really. I'm not trying to be like, some, shallow fitness personality on YouTube, or some kind of fucking celebrity. I don't care about that. In fact, while I'm friendly to people who introduce themselves in public, who recognize me, as I was saying earlier, like this fellow Jeremy did just about a week ago at a Whole Foods market, it is a little bit disconcerting. It's a little bit jarring, because it does feel strange to have people recognize you when you don't know them, and they know you on some level. I'm not an asshole, but I will admit it is definitely a little bit odd. So I can sympathize on a very teeny weensy scale what it must be like for like a Brad Pitt or a Tom Cruise to go out in public and be recognized every fucking second by multiple people. It's disconcerting. It's a little jarring, but I like to meet people. So if you do see me, on that same note, I'm not an asshole. Next question, Akash Sharma. For meat products, chicken, turkey, etc., are there any specific iron compounds that you can't get with vegan type food? Like, can you offset your meat absence in the diet with just iron pills? Okay, the iron in meat is a heme iron, and this includes fish as well. The iron in meat is a heme iron. The iron in plant-based foods is a non-heme iron. There is a better absorption rate with heme iron versus non-heme, but if you're getting enough non-heme iron, it's sort of inconsequential. As well as getting the vitamins, because it all works together. Isolated is not as preferable as things working in conjunction with one another. So if you're getting your vitamins, like your B vitamins, C vitamins, etc., it'll help absorb the iron better. This is why whole foods are great, because you're typically getting C and B vitamins with the iron, like in things like, for instance, like broccoli. So it's good to eat a whole foods based diet anyway. But if you're if you're getting enough iron from your diet, even non-heme iron, you should be able to, barring any medical conditions that you may have, be able to get enough iron, period, for your body to use for blood production, etc. So yes, heme iron can be, and I emphasize can be, absorbed better. But I've done a video on this in one of my replies to Varg. I believe it was my final reply to Varg Vikernes, where I discussed heme versus non-heme and the risks of heme iron, and also the absorption rates of both. And depending on your background, your genetics, etc., medical conditions, it can be a very minute difference between the absorption rates, or it can be quite a large difference. It can vary from person to person, but again, eat enough. And again, I'm not a doctor, so if you do have medical conditions, talk to your doctor. Don't just listen to me. In my case, I get too much fucking iron. My body actually, I have a genetic thing where I store iron. I found that out in 23andMe, for instance. So even when I would buy a multivitamin, I get an iron-free multi, and I get all of my iron from diet. Doomboy says, "Is GMO even bad for you? I don't believe GMO is harmful." I'm getting more agnostic on that topic. There have been meta-analysis showing that GMO crops are either neutral or have a positive benefit, or neutral. But I'm starting to wonder a bit, because there was a recent case of a fellow who works with Roundup, for instance, and this is at least the insecticide. Roundup, for instance, and he's ended up with some pretty fucked up skin conditions, and I believe he's going to die. Like, he has cancers and crap throughout his body. So I don't necessarily trust Monsanto in general and the safety of Monsanto's methods or products in general. But that's not necessarily an attack on GMOs per se, but at least the Roundup it is, which they use with their crops. So I'm kind of agnostic on that topic. I still buy things that are conventional, but the thing is, at Whole Foods Market, where I purchase from, even the conventional products are listed non-GMO certified. They're not organic, but they're listed as non-GMO certified. Even the conventional products are. Jim Sanchez, how old are you, Cory? You don't look older than 28. I'm about 10 years older than you guess. Let's put it that way. I'm not quite 38 yet, but I'm 37. I'm on the wrong side of 35. So take care of yourself. Take care of your skin. There's a lot. I've done videos about this. If you search anti-aging on my channel, I talk about how you can improve your skin health and your looks and all that, and make yourself look as young as possible. And there's a lot of lifestyle things you can change too. Don't drink. Don't smoke. Try to stay out of the sun as much as possible, or when you're in it, prepare like with sunscreen. Stay away from smokers. Reduce stress, etc. There's a lot of techniques and tactics you can use to help try to improve the way your skin looks. Amlon says, "I am no fap. It has hundreds of benefits. Are you on?" I am not no fap per se. I mean, I'm not against sex, let's put it that way, with a long-term partner. Though I do recognize the issues with pornography. I actually should do a video about this, because my views on that have changed significantly in recent times. So I should actually do a video on pornography, and its effect on men and women. So not necessarily masturbation per se, but pornography. But that'll be something to come in the future. Bucket Getter says, "Can you increase your height after 18? As far as I'm aware, you can't. I think that you pretty much are set by that point, or at least between 18 and 21, you've reached your max. I know I didn't grow much past like 16 to 18. In fact, I hit my growth spurt around 16 and then just kind of leveled off, and that was where I remained. But for me, luckily, that was I hit 6 feet tall, so that's a little bit above average for guys. So I'm not going to complain. It's not huge, but it's above average, so I'm not going to complain. But I feel for the dudes who are shorter. But hey, on the bright side, if you're shorter and you lift weights, you'll look bigger. So look at it, the glass is half full as opposed to half empty in that regard. The Yam Industry asks, "Do you follow or recommend training routines that hit each body part at least twice a week? I try to do this, but it's a bit more difficult for me to make such a routine." I do. In fact, I only train things for the most part, unless I'm doing a little bit of a change up or a deload for a short period of time. As you will even find in my Beast Mode by Science book, ebook, there are some periods where there are some more once a week type workouts coming in. But by and large, I do everything twice per week, at least twice per week, sometimes even 3 times per week. In fact, the programs in my ebooks are the programs that I use. So you can get a sense from those. But yes, higher frequency is by and large slightly more optimal than a bro split. So, and higher frequency can be twice a week, like your push-pull legs, or your upper lower. It doesn't have to be 3 times per week full body. Let's see here. Shoelaces asks, do I have a Bible? Yes, I do have a Bible. It's a King James Bible. Tom H., are you ever in New York City? I think I saw you a few months ago near Penn Station, but I wasn't sure it was you, so I didn't say anything. Yes, I live in New York City at the moment. I don't know if I'm going to remain here. That family matters are going to call me away, I'm pretty sure. But for now, I am in New York City for the time being. And I do believe that was you who mentioned I was wearing the Lift Heavy Shit tank top near Penn Station. That was indeed me. I have that tank top. It's made by a brand called Grunt Style, or Grunt Style, which is like an American patriotic brand run by veterans. So whatever you buy from them, the money goes to veterans. And yes, I do have that tank top, and yes, that was me, because when you mentioned it, I believe it was the day after, or that same night or something. And yes, that was me indeed. So yes, do feel free to pop up and say hi. And hey, worst case scenario, it's not me, and whoever it is will say, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Or in the case of like Jeremy this past week, saw me at a Whole Foods market. I had my earphones in, tapped me on the shoulder, so I pulled my earphones out and I looked over, and he was like, are you on YouTube? And I said, yes. And he goes, are you Cory McCarthy? And I said, yes. And that's what he kind of like, he got really ecstatic, that's the best way to put it, and wanted to shake my hand, wanted to photograph with me, and I obliged. I'm not an asshole. So Shoelaces says, I'm not trying to overanalyze these things and read and try to apply the wisdom of the Bible. Try not overanalyzing on these things. Read and try to apply the wisdom of the Bible. Fair enough. Anyway, I'll talk more about religion soon. Jackie Chong says, have you seen any studies on lentils and beans and heavy metals? No, but I have seen studies on lentils, for instance, in starved and malnourished children, returning their nitrogen balance and their protein levels, their health, basically, to normal range just as fast and just as well as meat. So lentils in malnourished children work just as well as meat in countering the effects and returning their nitrogen balance. But I've not seen anything about the heavy metals, no. Yeah, Minister, what's your opinion on smelling ammonia while training? I don't have an opinion on it. I have to look more into it. I know people do it, but I don't have an opinion on it. I've had ammonia used on me when I've passed out before. Smelling salts, that is. And it was fucking awful. It smelled fucking awful, but it definitely brought me back to consciousness. Anyway, let's see here. Doomboy says, I'll always be a 5'5" manlet that feels bad. Well, if you're 5'5", like I said, lift weights, and I know you're using my programs, so I know you purchased my ebooks. Lift weights, and you'll get there, because you'll look freaking bigger as somebody who's shorter than me. I'll take longer to fill out, but you'll look bigger faster. Like 15-inch arms on you will look huge, whereas 15-inch arms on me just look like slightly big athletic, you know? So look at it that way. The bright side here, Sheila says, I try not to use GMO myself, but I recognize there is a time and place for a last resort. let's see here. Let's move along to some other questions. A lot of people are kind of talking amongst themselves here, and that happens quite a bit. So they're kind of talking about manlets right now. You know, I'm not by my statement before. I'm not trying to attack on short guys. Okay, like there's a benefit. You can find benefits in anything. You know, so don't if you are 5'5" or 5'8" or 5'10". 5'10" is more average, but if you are 5'8", 5'5", 5'6", something like that, don't feel bad about it. You know, just get on with your life and you know, take care of yourself, dress well, lift weights, eat healthy, and you'll look good. Don't try to hold it, you know, in so much give it so much power over yourself. You know, we all have shortcomings. It's not like, you know, any of us are perfect. So, hey. Yam Industry says, Cory, do you have any recommendations on vegan protein powder that doesn't contain heavy metals and aren't considerably more expensive because of it? There is a degree of heavy metals in all the protein powders, as far as I'm aware. Some are better than others. I've never had a problem with True Nutrition, and I know from analysis of True Nutrition's products, and they're a bulk supplier. You can find them linked below most of my videos. And I have an affiliate code with them as well. I've been using them myself since 2012, I think it's been. And I've been an affiliate of theirs since like 2014. So I was a customer first, and I still am a customer. I don't buy any other product. I use True Nutrition, the same products that I recommend. And I'm very open about my blend that I use there too. It's a custom blend. I use the custom blend generator. You know, their products, I never had a problem with them, and they have a decent protein quantity. And when they've been there's been analysis done to see if the protein on the label matches up to the protein content in the product. They're one of the better products. And again, they're a bulk product. They're not like one of these, like, you know, Nitro Tech, you know, ON, you know, Optimum Nutrition or what have you brands. They're not a big brand. They're just like, they're a bulk supplier. So, Cory, I have been struggling to balance martial arts training and weightlifting. I am fairly skinny, so gaining weight is a big goal, but I feel gassed every BJJ session. Well, first of all, eat enough, especially if you're skinny. Eat enough, get enough sleep, and train 3 days a week in lifting at least, and then devote those off days to BJJ. Now, I've juggled both myself. I was a competitive Kyokushin fighter while lifting weights for a good period of time until I stepped away from competitive fighting because of an injury that's never healed in my xiphoid process, which I'm rubbing right here, which you can't see. In fact, when I bend back, you can see the fucking thing stick through my skin because it healed all fucked up. I had fractured my xiphoid. I took too many blows, I guess, in that area over time, and it fractured. And then my doctor told me to take time off to heal it, and ended up never getting back to fighting again. And now it's healed funky, where I get like a fucking tent look when I bend myself back. And I can feel it sometimes when it rains, you know, when it's humid out. I can feel it when I bench press sometimes too. If I bump the area, it can be a little bit sensitive and sore, a little bit like a bruise. It'll probably never heal. But back to what you're saying. Yeah, I've juggled it before, and I didn't gas. I just made sure I ate enough, got enough sleep, and you know, lifted 3 days a week, but also devoted the rest of the days that my dojo was open to training. So, okay, anyway, somebody's talking about being short again, so I'm just going to kind of let that go. They're having a conversation amongst themselves. Let's see here. Cory, does soy have negative health effects when it's isolated rather than eaten as a whole food? Not that I've seen, no. And they've actually done studies on the hormones with isolated soy protein powders as well, and there weren't any drawbacks when compared to tofu, so or soybeans, for instance. So not that I've seen. Now, if you have a soy allergy, that's a different story. And I also recommend everybody check out my second Paul Joseph Watson video. The one, I think it's titled Paul Joseph Watson is Still Wrong, but ... Check that video out, because there are some people who are at a slight, an ever so slight, not really, it's not going to have a lot of effect, but ever so slight disadvantage to eating soy. But check that video out. Again, if you are one of those people, it's not really, the video will explain, but it's not really that big of a deal. But definitely check that video out, my second Paul Joseph Watson response. And those are, in my opinion, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but because of the amount of research I've done on soy, I feel that my soy videos are some of the most comprehensive soy videos that I've ever encountered on YouTube. So check out my videos, my responses to PJW, my response to Kino Body and that other fucking guy, his friend, I can't think of his name right now. But I did a video about flax seeds and soy to that guy. I've done so many soy videos that I feel like I have nothing else to say about soy. And I don't think there's any more research I can possibly find on soy unless something breaking comes out in the next, months to years. I have tapped everything I can about soy. I feel like a little soy expert, basically. So, B. Johnson, would you rather fight another karate fighter or Muay Thai? I've done both. And I respect Muay Thai fighters. But I like karate, one, because I had a karate background growing up. I've been doing karate since I was like 8. And so when I went to try Muay Thai, because I wanted to fight full contact, I did it for about a week, but I had to unlearn all the chambering, etc., that karate taught me. Where there's similarities, there was a lot of differences as well. And I figured, why not? Why not just go to full contact karate, like Kyokushin? And there's various different offshoots of Kyokushin too, like Enshin, Ashihara. And there's a new one currently called Daidojuko, which is a combination of Kyokushin and Judo. So it's got a ground aspect as well. There's so many different offshoots of Kyokushin. And so I figured, what? I don't want to unlearn what I've learned through decades of karate. I just thought I would just go and do Kyokushin instead. So that's why I went that direction. Nothing against Muay Thai. I just stuck with what I knew and improved upon that and fought with that full contact. But yes, I fought Muay Thai fighters. We had Muay Thai fighters that came to our dojo. I fought various kinds of martial artists before. I fought kung fu guys. Like Sanshou. I fought guys who the most pathetic of all of them that I fought, because it's not really meant for a sporty kind of full contact sort of thing, was the Israeli martial art, if you want to call it that. It's a fighting system. Krav Maga. I fought Krav Maga guys. I fought wrestlers. In time, you train with different people. You spar with different people. I have a friend of mine who's been doing Kali and has been training in Jeet Kune Do. And he wants to spar with me once he gets some more training under his belt. He doesn't feel confident enough to spar me just yet, but he wants to spar me and get some more training under his belt. I'm open to that as well. I've never fought a Jeet Kune Do guy. So I've fought Taekwondo people. I fought Shotokan people, other kinds of karate people. It's a good learning experience. Win or lose, it's a good learning experience. If you get your ass kicked, it's a good learning experience. If you kick someone else's ass, it's a learning experience. But you learn more from getting your ass kicked because you learn where your weaknesses are and what to improve next time. So don't feel bad about losing a fight. Look at it as a learning experience. Find out why you lost. It might be just because you had a bad day, but it could also be because you don't train enough in a certain way. You don't defend yourself enough in a certain aspect, and you can learn from that. But yeah, there have been historic cases of Muay Thai versus Kyokushin karate. In fact, Masoyama originally brought 3 of his best fighters to fight. This is back in the 60s, I think like 1967, to fight 3 of the world's best Muay Thai fighters. Now, one of his fighters got sick and was replaced by a stand-in. The 2 that were his top students, who he originally chose, beat the Muay Thai fighters, the best ones at the time. The one who was a stand-in lost. Now, if that had gone differently, had the stand-in not come in, it was one of the original guys, that might, who knows? Who knows? It didn't happen that way. But, all of them are legit. Muay Thai, karate. It depends on how you train. It really depends on how you train your school. Cory, I'd like to buy Rocket Old School. Could you tell me more? Well, Rocket Old School is a 3-day full-body program. It focuses on your big core heavy lifts. It's got an intensity week of training too, for those who want to use it beyond just the beginner stage, and it can help you break through a plateau. I do not recommend the intensity week for beginners, though. They should stick to the core routine, because the intensity week will tank the fuck out of you if you aren't eating enough and you don't have enough experience and stamina, training stamina under your belt, because it's fucking puke-worthy intense. And literally, you might not want to run that intensity week more than 2 to 3 weeks straight before you go back to the regular program. But it's just a bare bones, no bullshit, 5x5 kind of base. It's not like 5 by, it's more like, 3x5, but based program with all the exercises you need and none of the crap you don't. It's a real just bare bones program to put on strength and meat, and it's especially good for a beginner. If you're more advanced, my beast mode my upgraded man. Beast mode's more of a fitness beach body kind of routine. My upgraded man program is more for an advanced strength lifter who wants to focus on strength, and that runs you through the gamut of 3x10 on your start and your rest weeks, and it does 3x5. It does so you got 5 rep week, you got a 3 rep week, you got a 1 rep max week, or it's actually a near 1 rep max week, and you cycle back again. So it takes you through the gamut of things, but the volume is higher, the intensity is a little higher, so it's more for intermediate and advanced lifters. Flugy Hopper asked me if I watch UFC, and if so, who are the fighters you enjoy watching? I've watched a little UFC. I like a lot of the karate fighters, because that's really my kind of my background. So I like guys like Georges St. Pierre, and I know he also does Muay Thai and wrestling and stuff as well, but he was Kyokushin as his base. Guys like Machado, however you pronounce that, who's a Shotokan guy. I really enjoy watching all the karate fighters because, hey, I like to cheer on my art. It's regardless of what style of my art it is. I like to cheer those guys on. But I'm not really a heavy UFC kind of I don't really watch it a lot. I used to watch a bit of K1 at one time, but as far as I know, K1 is defunct at this point. But I liked watching kickboxing. It was fun. But I don't really watch a lot of TV or even stream a lot of stuff in general, whether it be sport or television shows or what have you. I don't even watch a lot of YouTube, to be perfectly honest. I kind of create what I put out, and then I catch some things, but I don't really watch a lot of YouTube. So it's a time thing. It's a time issue for me. Is the B12 and nutritional yeast bioavailable? It depends. Red Star yeast apparently is, the Red Star brand, but other ones not so much. Let's see here. Have I ever tried the salted caramel flavor from True Nutrition? I've tried all of the flavors on True Nutrition. Salted caramel's nice. There's actually a lot of great flavors on there. Their best flavor, in my opinion, is the cafe latte flavor. It's that or that mocha, cafe mocha or whatever it is. It's the coffee flavor. It's actually really, really nice. It's actually, I'm not even a huge coffee guy when it comes to the flavor of coffee. I drink it more for the benefits, like the health benefits of coffee. But that was a particularly good protein powder flavor, in my opinion, the cafe mocha from True Nutrition. Let's see here. People are kind of talking amongst themselves here. I'm trying to move on to find somebody who's asking questions, as opposed to just hey, Cory, do you think you will ever find a way to cure my eyes? I guess you're referring to my glasses. I'm not so vain as to worry about. I've considered laser eye surgery, because when I fight, I take my glasses off, and I can fight just fine with my glasses off. Like when I look at people, I can see form, I can judge distance. What I can't do, my problem with my glasses being off is that a person can be fighting me, but I won't really see a lot of their facial features. I know they're there. I can see where they are. I can judge distance, but I can't like see the perfect detail of their nose or the way their mouth is shaped or eyes. I don't need to see that shit when I'm fighting. I mean, I know where the nose is, and we're all human. So I'm not blind as a bat. I can see all right enough to fight. But I would, I have considered not contacts, but laser eye surgery. But I've also come to find that there are side effects to laser eye surgery. There are people who have had side effects to it. So I don't know if I fully trust it. And I don't feel like, I'm not so vain as to think, oh God, I got to take off my glasses. Glasses have served me just fine. I mean, I've been wearing them for decades. So, I got my first pair of glasses when I was in 5th grade. And I'm very used to them. Contacts I'm not so good with because my eye reflex is so strong that I can't put the fucking things in. And I don't want to deal with, the scratchiness or them getting loose in the eye and the other crap I see people going through with contact lenses. Again, I'm not so vain as to concern myself over that sort of thing, maybe people say I look better with glasses off, but hey, whatever, let's put it this way. To my fellow viewers who wear glasses, I've not had any problems with women because I wear glasses. So don't worry about it so much. There are other things that are far more important, when it comes to how you present yourself than whether you wear glasses or not. A lot of people wear glasses. I don't know the statistics, but I'm sure a lot of people wear glasses. So even with all the technology, there are people who still choose to wear glasses like myself. So I don't know. Let's see here. People are still talking amongst themselves. Oh wow, they're having a lot of. What are my intermediate standards for OHP, squat, deadlift, and bench? Actually, I put this in a couple of my ebooks, I believe. Oh wow, trying to go off the top of my head. I believe that the intermediate for squat is like 3 or 315. I think for bench it's like 225 to 250. I think for the OHP it's around, I want to say 125 to 150 kind of range. And for the deadlift, I think it's around 400 if I'm not mistaken. I go by the standards in the powerlifting world, generally speaking, even though I'm not a powerlifter myself. I go by a lot of the standards are professed by those folks of what you'd be considered if you have a certain, and again, it's also based on your body weight, so those standards aren't going to apply to women. They're not going to apply to a guy who has a significantly lower body weight, like a 125-pound guy compared to a 175-pound guy. There's going to be a significant difference in what would be considered intermediate. But I'm talking about generally speaking here. For your average guy who's like around 6 feet tall, those are typically intermediate numbers. Let's see here. People are having they're actually having a debate in here amongst themselves. They're having some kind of a racial argument. I have no idea what's going on here. B. Johnson says Anderson Silva needs glasses too, and it's never held him back from kicking people's asses. Exactly. I mean, like I said, I guess it depends on how blind you are without glasses. Like I said, I can see form. And when you're fighting somebody, you're not fighting somebody who's 20 feet away from you. You're going to have some reasonable distance where you can kick the person, you can take them down. They might, you escape a bit, but they're not going to stay. They're not going to stay away from you. That's not going to do them any favors. It's not going to win them the fight either. If they look like they're being a coward. I know that, like in Kyokushin, for instance, if somebody's avoiding you the entire fight, they'll give you, the person who's not avoiding, the person who's trying to fight, they'll give them the win. So, that's something to keep in mind, is that, like, I'm not that blind. And I guess Anderson's not that blind either. As long as you can tell that's a person in front of me, you're not hitting a pole or something, you're hitting a person, because you can see them moving, you can see the shape. And you can judge distance enough. And like I said, I can judge distance is fine. You don't need glasses on to fight. That's that from my experience. But again, it varies from person to person. Some people might be so blind that they literally can't judge distance, which would be a problem, because you have to be able to judge distance while you're fighting. Otherwise, you might throw an ineffective punch or a kick, and especially a kick, because you commit yourself to a kick. And unless it's a lower kick, they're a little bit harder to fuck up with, because they don't take a lot of commitment. Head kicks do. And then, if you're on one leg and you commit yourself to this kick, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position to be taken down, basically. So, yeah. Doomboy asks, do women like a good sense of humor? Yes. They do look a good sense of humor. Humor, even bad humor, even if it's bad humor, if you have the confidence to tell a joke like that and put yourself on the spot where you could be laughed at, not laughed with, but laughed at, that does take a degree of confidence, and confidence is attractive. So I guess women find humor not only makes them feel good, because everyone likes to laugh. Laughing is good for you. But it also is a sign of confidence that you can, put yourself out there like that and tell a joke. I like to tell jokes a lot. Sometimes I fall fucking right on my ass with a joke, but hey, I told it. Maybe it's a bad joke. And then I'll joke a little bit about like how bad my joke was if no one laughed. It's like, well, you're a tough crowd or something. You just fuck around. Don't try to take yourself too seriously, and don't let your ego get too bashed. But yes, confidence, sense of humor, they're very important. Having a sense of responsibility and having a sense of direction in life. Those are also important things to women. At least to quality women. There are some bad women. You can attract bad women. I have attracted bad women in my time when I didn't really know what the fuck I was looking for, and I was younger and a lot more naive, and I've attracted some pretty bad women in my time. I wouldn't say I regret dating. Well, some of them I definitely regret dating, but I wouldn't say I regret dating all of them, because I consider it all a learning experience. I consider even the bad women a learning experience in the sense of now I know what the hell to avoid. So, Philip says glasses are fine, but modern eye doctors are very, very primitive in practice. Fair enough. Stefan says contacts killed me. I had to put them in on stage for bodybuilding show, second show, and went with zero glasses and blind. Yeah, I don't like contacts either. I agree with you, Stefan. They're just, I don't know, they scratch my fucking eyes up. They get loose, and then like, no. I'll stick with glasses. I just buy the best glasses I can find that fit my face the best. Actually, I purchase my glasses whenever I'm in the UK. Like, it's actually, surprisingly enough, even though I'm American, it's cheaper for me to get glasses without any kind of insurance in the United Kingdom than it is for me to get glasses in America with insurance. So, and I get to the UK frequently, so, but that's kind of a side note. Anyway, I wouldn't risk laser eye surgery if you're getting blows to the face. You could potentially dislodge your cornea. That's a good point, and I already have a lot of holes in my I think it's my cornea. I have floaters from strikes to the head. In fact, the last eye doctor I went to in America asked me if I was a football player, and I told her that I wasn't. But she said, "Did you do some kind of contact sport?" I said, "Well, I do fight full contact." And she warned me about the fact that I was going to rip my retina. I think that's what she said, rip my retina, tear my retina, that I already have holes forming, the floaters that I'm seeing. And then she constantly sees this kind of thing in boxers and football players. But obviously somebody who takes kicks to the head too is going to have that sort of thing also. In some ways, from my experience, a solid kick to the head feels a lot fucking worse than a punch to the head. A solid kick to the head. It's a lot more power, in my opinion, from my experience. Now, there are some boxers who might very well disagree, and that is fair enough. But I've taken punches, I've taken kicks, and I would rather take a punch to the face than a kick, let's be honest with you. That's my experience. What do I think of MGTOW, men going their own way? I see it as a response to modern feminism, but I also see it as just more divide between the genders for the powers that be that want to divide us like that, and stop traditional families and stop, and demonize traditional gender roles that we've had historically that have helped society function optimally. I just see it. I see it in some ways like feminism, where it's just one more problem in the mix. I do agree with a lot of the arguments, and yes, these are problems that need to be worked on, like the gynocentric court systems, that can take the rights to see your child away from a guy and give it to the woman exclusively. But so I understand the arguments of Big Toe. I do think they have good points, but I do think, looking at the broader picture, that it's just one more problem, one more divide. And you know, it's not quite the disease that third wave feminism is. That's a fucking disease. But it's not helping matters either. Maybe on an individual level you feel that it is, but if you look at the broad picture and the overall overarching outcome, I don't think that it is. I think it's causing more problems than good. I think, you know, this is why I think we're heading towards a collapse, because society is just getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and it's really sad. And at this point, this is where my black pill came in, where I'm kind of like, you know, fuck it. There's not much I can really fucking do about it. I can talk about it, but it's not really much I can do about it. Maybe it needs to play out this way. Maybe we need to have a collapse. Maybe that will clean things up a bit. You know, that's my thoughts on that. That's why I did the black pill video, and I still kind of feel that way. I feel like, you know, can we really stop the direction we're going? Or should we just let the collapse happen to neutralize the problem? Because those that are causing the problem will not survive a collapse. Let nature run its course is what I'm thinking. Let's see here. There's still shoelaces. Somebody else is still having an argument about something. I have no idea what they're arguing about. I'm kind of moving along here, but it must be a good one because they're still going at it. Doomboy says, good, because my sense of humor is a testament to Zoomers. Yeah, I mean, if you have a good sense of humor, that's a plus right there. You know, hold on to that. You know, try to, anywhere you feel that you could do better. Don't try to do better for women, okay? Do better for yourself first and foremost. Do things to make yourself better. Improve yourself. Improve your quality of life, and the women will follow. You know, if you take care of yourself and you make yourself more valuable, good things can come to you. Okay, and you can go look for these good things as well. You'll have the confidence to seek them out, because things don't just fall in your lap, but you'll have more success. That's what I mean by that. So don't feel bad if there's areas that you feel like you suck in. Hey, there's areas I suck tremendously in. We all have areas we suck in. What you should do is to try to work on those areas that you suck in. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. And you may never be great at something. There's a lot of things I'll never be great at. You know, take pottery, for instance. You know, I'm decent, you know, in drawing and those kind of graphic arts like that. I suck ass at pottery. No matter how much I practice at pottery, I fucking suck at it. You know, and there's other things too. That's just, you know, I'm not the greatest. I can't really play football that well. You know, I love hockey, but I can't fucking skate to save my life. Hey, whatever. You know, I still enjoy life, and I still do the things that I'm good at, and I try to get better at the things that are going to improve my life and have some meaningful improvement on my life. So we all have things that we suck ass at, we have things that we're average at, and we have things that we excel at. So work on what you think is going to help improve your life. That's all I have to say. And hold on to those things that you're really good at, like your sense of humor. Do I consider flat Earth theory as a conspiracy? I don't know if no, Shoelace is asking somebody else that. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna step out of that. I'm not a flat earther. Am I considered? Am I considered a boomer or a millennial? Maybe I'm Gen X. I'm actually at that point where some folks consider me millennial, the start of millennial. Some folks consider me like that, some strange in-between point between Gen X and millennial. It's like this little fucking bridge generation. I like to jokingly call it the Oregon Trail generation, because when I grew up, Oregon Trail was like the hot game in schools. We go to computer lab and they'd have Oregon Trail there. So I'm part of that Oregon Trail generation, I guess you could call it. But I'm technically, I guess if you consider millennials to start around 79, I fit sort of in the beginning of millennial period because I was born in 81. But some people consider me kind of between Gen X and between the millennial period, this little small sliver of time. So I don't know where I really fucking fit. I don't know. Like maybe Gen X version 2 or 2.0 or a Gen X hybrid with millennial. I don't know. I don't really care. I am what I am. Let's see here. It's not. They're having a fight. I'm just gonna. I keep seeing things like that. I'm like, whatever. Okay, is Jeff Seed's body naturally attainable? I don't really. If you look at some of the photos where Jeff hasn't been photoshopped and where he isn't like sitting in awesome lighting, it was what I call the fake natty lighting that we can all take photos with. His videos where he's just a normal light and don't look all that fantastic. But keep in mind, he is a competitor in men's physique, which is IFBB. And so a lot of those guys are on drugs. So to stay competitive, it would make sense for him to take drugs. But is his physique obtainable as a natty? I don't, from what I've seen where he's in a more natural setting, I don't see why it wouldn't be. Okay, I'm gonna take one more question because it's getting on to the hour mark and I've got to take care of some business today. So let's see here. Cory, what advice would you have from Vegan for Life? What advice would you have for creatine making me retain a bunch of water and causing me to break out? It works well in helping me gain strength, but I stopped these symptoms. Unfortunately, creatine works by mechanism. It transports by mechanism of water. Water is its mode of transport. So you can get a bit more bloated water-wise from taking creatine. If that is a problem for you, then don't take creatine. I don't really know how to minimize that, unfortunately. That is just its mode of transport. In fact, this is why it's recommended to take creatine with, like, you know, carbs and stuff, and it'll help swell up in the muscles and store in the muscles better. And also you have to take it with like 16 ounces of water, I believe 5 grams, 16 ounces of water, I think is the recommended dose. But as for breaking out, if it's causing you to break out, and it genuinely is the creatine causing you to break out, unfortunately, if that's a problem for you, I would just say avoid creatine. You know, the supplemental creatine, that is. You're going to get some from diet anyway, but supplemental creatine. If that is an issue for you, that's all. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Do check out the description below. That the 40% off deal on my ebooks is going to be running through tomorrow, and then it's over. It's like in a late Black Friday sale, and I'll be doing another video this coming Tuesday or Thursday, sometime in that range. Typically, is what I do, and I will see you all then. Anyway, take care. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all later. Bye bye.